Okay, if you're a student, let's be real. Your to-do list is probably a mile long, right? Between classes, homework, maybe a job, and oh yeah, trying to have a social life, things can get, well, intense. So today, we're going to talk about a really powerful tool that helps you do more than just survive all that stress. We're talking about actually nurturing your mental health through it all. So, does this sound familiar? That feeling of being totally stressed out or overwhelmed? Yeah. If you've ever felt like you're just juggling way too much, I want you to know you are definitely not alone. That pressure can be absolutely immense, and it's so normal to feel that way. All right, so let's dive into what we could call the student stress epidemic. It's so important to get a handle on just how common this is. Why? Because realizing you're not the only one feeling this way, well, that's the very first step to actually dealing with it. In this quote, this really just hits the nail on the head. So many students across the US feel stressed, anxious, or just plain overwhelmed by everything they have to deal with, from school to just daily life. It just confirms that feeling of being completely swamped, you know? It doesn't matter if it's a huge exam coming up, a schedule that's packed to the brim, or just the day-to-day grind. This kind of stress is basically a universal part of the student experience. Okay, so we know the stress is real. The big question is, what can we actually do about it? How do we handle all this pressure? Well, let's talk about a tool that is surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful, and it offers some real relief. And that tool is mindfulness. So, what even is mindfulness? At its core, it's the practice of paying attention to right now, to the present moment without judging it. And what makes this so powerful is how simple it is. I think a lot of people hear mindfulness and think they have to completely empty their mind, and that's just not it. It's really about focusing your mind. It's about taking just a few quiet moments to notice your breath and letting all that other noise, all those worries, just kind of fade into the background. Seriously, it's like hitting a mental reset button. And this chart, it shows that shift perfectly. On one side, you've got living in worry. Your mind is spinning, right? It's stuck on something that happened in the past or totally stressed about what might happen in the future. But then you look at the other side, living in the moment. This is mindfulness. You're focused on your breath. You're just aware of the here and now. Making that little shift, honestly, that is the secret to finding a little bit of calm in the chaos. All right, this all sounds great, right? But the most important question is, how do you actually do it? I know what you're thinking. The last thing you need is another complicated thing to add to your to-do list. And the good news is it's not about that at all. It's all about weaving small, super manageable actions into your day. So let's build out your own personal self-care toolkit. Here are 3 really simple things you can start with, like today. First up, deep breathing. Just a few deep breaths can literally calm your nervous system down in seconds. It's amazing. Second, journaling. This is such a great way to just dump all those racing thoughts out of your head and onto a page. It can give you some serious perspective. And third, a short walk, or even just a good stretch. This helps reconnect your mind and your body, and it's fantastic for breaking that cycle of stress. See, they're all simple, they're accessible, and they're so powerful. Okay, so now let's zoom out a little and see how these small actions can build into something way bigger. Because these little daily practices, they're not just about putting a Band-Aid on stress. They're actually the building blocks for creating real, long-term mental resilience. And a huge part of this is about changing the conversation, both the one you have with yourself and the ones you have with others. You know that little voice inside your head? It has a massive impact on how you feel. So if you can consciously start to replace that negative self-talk with something more encouraging, you can literally start to rewire how you think. And just as important, seeking out social support. Actually talking to your friends or family about what's going on. It makes the load feel so much lighter, and it's a powerful reminder that you don't have to go through this stuff alone. And I really want to hammer this point home. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Period. There's this crazy misconception out there that asking for help means you're weak. It is the absolute opposite. Recognizing that you need support and then actually asking for it, whether it's from a friend, a family member, or a counselor, that is one of the strongest, bravest, and healthiest things you can possibly do. And ultimately, this is the goal, right? To be able to approach life's challenges with more calm and more confidence. When you start weaving these little moments of self-care and mindfulness into your day-to-day life, you're doing so much more than just managing stress in the moment. You're actively building this strong foundation that helps you face whatever life throws at you from a much more centered, resilient place.
So I want to leave you with a question to think about. What's one small moment of self-care that you can build into your day today? It doesn't have to be some huge, life-altering change. Seriously, maybe it's just taking 5 deep breaths before your next class starts, or doing a 2-minute stretch between chapters. Or maybe it's just sending a quick text to a friend you trust. What's that one small thing you can do for yourself, starting right now?